Hello there, Apple Bites. This is your Apple Bite Written Writ Ralph talking to you straight from our show here, Apple Bites, where we take a bite out of the apple and share it with you. And today we got a plethora of people hanging out with us. You got our friend Bruce, you got DM Tauzin, you got Kalei, you got Ava, and you have Christian Douglas.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
Good evening. It's going to be a beautiful party here. Bruce, why don't you start it off? Tell the people who you are, what you do, all the good stuff. Go for it.
Sure. My name is Bruce Klein. In relation to this, I am a hobbyist. I do wood burning, which is probably an old art and craft type thing. And when I first started, I decided to try doing comic book covers. And I did. And I just kept doing it and doing more. And next thing I know, I'm at a show. And I've done a whole bunch of different things. Kalei and I collaborated on a piece, and that was the result of it. Kayleigh's a wonderful artist, and we worked together to create something for her. And I'm just amazed. I like to consider what I do as an homage to the artists that created the covers, because to me, they're all geniuses, because all they're really trying to do is get a 10-year-old kid to give a newsstand guy 10 cents. And the only way to do that was with an incredible cover.
Yep.
And, you know, when they started out in 1930s, no one realized that it would create this entire universe of people like us who love and appreciate the stuff that we work with. So the name of what I do is Sazama Creations. I'm on Instagram. And I just love what I'm doing, and it keeps me sane. I do a little bit of other things, as you could see. I do some rock and roll and stuff like that. But to me, it's really just a way of, it's creative release, and it's a wonderful hobby. And I'm just thrilled to be here. Thank you very much.
I got to say, you say it's a hobby, but I'm looking at this art, you know, and it's art. It may be a hobby, but you're actually working this wood and making it look really beautiful. It actually looks like the cover.
Well, I can show you one real quick if you'd like. This is an actual comic, and the reason I chose this one is because I have it with me, and this is what I did. So this is a piece of wood. As you can see, it's three-dimensional.
Whoa.
That's a piece of wood, and so what I'll do is I'll burn the image. I'll transfer the image onto the wood, and when I do that, it looks something like this. This is something I'm doing. For those of you old enough to remember R. Crumb, who's famous for doing Keep on Trucking. Mm-hmm. And then I burn it into the wood. That takes probably could take about 10 hours, depending on the detail. And then I color it with colored pencil, which also takes quite a while. So I'm trying to capture what the original artist did. And then I put 5 or 6 coats of hand-rubbed polyurethane and 3 or 4 coats of butcher block wax. This is another one that I've done, one of my favorites, because it's one of my absolute favorite graphic novel comic books of all time. The artist that did this was an absolute genius. And the coolest thing about this cover, if you ask me, is that the cover is amazing, but it gets better after you read the book. Because when you see this cover, you go, what's going on? But once you read the actual book, you go, wow. Because this cover just absolutely just hits a home run with what the content of the book is.
I gotta say, they look like covers. They don't look like wood.
No, they're you can hear it. It's wood.
Oh yeah, we can see it too, especially when you turned it over.
Yeah, it's wood. It's wood.
It looks like it's the comic book.
Yeah, I've had people walk past my table and not stop, because either they thought the stuff that I did was too expensive because, for instance, I have the first Superman, the first Batman, the first Spider-Man, and they figure they can't afford what I have, or they just don't know what they're looking at and they weren't paying attention. So when you try to bring them to your booth and you say it's wood, I get that a lot, which I take as a compliment.
It's a compliment, bro, you know, because it says a lot that you can actually make it look like the original cover. You know, that's not a simple feat. No, I mean, I don't want to sound falsely modest or anything. I mean, it is a skill, but I defer to the people that actually draw this stuff. Someone like Kalei and Ava, these people are genuine artists. I like to consider myself a craftsman, much more than an artist.
The people that thought this up, that drew it, that colored it, that penciled it, that lettered it, these are the artists. I'm just a craftsman hobbyist. I appreciate the compliments, of course, but the people that draw, those are the real artists in the comic world. You guys know that.
Yeah. Christian, I see Christian's asking here, how much do you sell them for?
The comic books take about 25 hours, so I'll charge $300 each for those at the shows. Mm-hmm. I've done bigger pieces. I did a piece for Breaking Bad. I got $450 for that. I also do some without coloring, just black and whites, and that's rock and roll. Or I've done the Three Stooges and the Marx Brothers and things like that. And those I'll get less for depending how long it takes. Because this isn't my job, I really just base it on my time because material costs are negligible. And I'm also not going to cheap out because it isn't my job. If it takes 25 hours, I'm not going to sell it for $100. I have no problem going home after a show having sold nothing because the way I see it, I'm spending $300 from my table at a show, and for 2 days, people come by and compliment me. Total strangers saying nice things to you. I think that's worth $300 in this day and age.
I gotta say, in this day and age, you're right. It is worth because you don't hear that kind of compliments anymore.
Right. I mean, just have people walk by, stranger, go, "What's that? That's the coolest thing I ever saw. I can't afford it, but this is great." I'm done. I'm happy. I mean, that's terrific.
It's beautiful work, man. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
And I gotta say, Kalei, I've always liked that cover that he actually took to make there. So I think he did a great job at actually copying exactly what you did.
No, yeah, he did an awesome job, like crazy job. Actually, if you're okay with showing our recent piece together.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Sure, of course.
So this is from my grandfather, a piece that we're trying to work on
Wow.
together, Roberto Clemente. Yeah, so he sent this over. That's all like burned on. It's insane. It's nice. Even without the finish, I'm like, yo, it's so smooth. You actually feel the.
It doesn't even look like it's burned. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, it's good.
But Kayleigh's going to color it.
Yes.
Oh, can't wait to see that.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if you mess up when you're burning something? Like you can't erase, right? So what do you do?
Yes and no. You can sort of gently sand it or scrape it away, but yeah, you don't want to make a mistake. But luckily, so much of what I do is short strokes. So it's not like I'm drawing a 4-inch line on a piece of wood. So with short strokes, you can sort of, fix it a little. Just like anyone else's work, I can show you every mistake in every one of my pieces. But if, you learn to hide it, sort of, obviously.
Well, that's the whole thing. Yeah. I know my band teacher used to tell me all the freaking time. He goes, they can't hear you. They can't hear what you hear. They don't know where you messed up. Just keep going.
Just keep going. Don't ever stop.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't ever stop.
They only know you messed up when you stop.
Right. Well, that's just it. I mean, there are tricks, obviously, just like you guys.
Yeah.
You guys work on a drawing or a painting or whatever it is, and you made a mistake, but you're 70% done. You fix it. You do the best you can. Especially for you guys, if you're doing something original, no one else is going to know it's a mistake.
That's true.
Mine, I'm really trying to create an homage. I'm trying to make it realistic. So, I've made mistakes on colors where they just didn't come out right, but I'm trying to create colors with colored pencils that are done with a sophisticated printing process. Not so easy sometimes.
No.
So like one of Kayleigh's, if you look at the Joker, I made him purple because that was the color I saw with the print that she sent me. And in her original, it's actually it's a different color purple. Hers is more blue, mine's more red. That's a mistake, but I didn't know it when I saw it. But obviously, the rest was pretty close. It was pretty close. I've never had anybody say I'm not buying it because you screwed it up, though. That's for sure.
I see the crowd's coming in. You got Walter
White.
You got great attitude to have about your craft. I agree completely. Great attitude to have. Yeah. Whoa. Is that Ava and Kalei? He's like Marvel, shaking my head, joking. Both great and dope artists. And then comes Blake saying, "Hi, everyone."
Hi, Blake.
Hi, Blake. Hi, Sean.
I feel like everybody knows Blake. Oh man, so I gotta say, Kalei, your art's just amazing. You are an amazing up and coming artist. I've been watching your stuff for a while now, and when I first saw your table, that's what caught my attention was how great the art was.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I don't know. Well, hi guys. My name's Kalei, and I am 20-year-old artist. I go to FIT, so this is kind of more of like a side hustle. I just do conventions. I don't have a shop at the moment. Yeah, but my first like showbiz was at New York Comic Con. That was pretty dope. I got to meet Todd McFarlane. I gotta brag about it. Someone asked about it. But that piece that he's holding up, I stayed up like all throughout the night trying to draw it because I found out he was gonna be there. Yeah, I just started waving that Joker in the air until he saw it. It was pretty awesome just to hear like the creator of that drawing be like, "Bro, you drew this?" Like, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. There's just something about ink and pencil work that's just you just can't get it anywhere else. There's just something about that hand to paper, like just I love it. I crave that. I also met Devon Rodriguez. I'm not sure. He's the guy that does portraits on the subway.
Oh.
Amazing guy. He was actually drawing one of the senators on my way to school, and I stopped and drew him while he was doing that, and that blew up. Which is kind of cool. But yeah, I'm just drawing for fun. Trying to make some money wherever I can. Hoping to one day make it a full-time gig after I graduate. But for now, yeah, just some side hustles here and there, some collaborations, as you guys saw. It's pretty awesome.
I gotta say, it's been interesting watching you go from place to place, do your thing, and like I said, folks, you're looking at some of the stuff that I'm putting up here. It is just I don't know. I have no words for it.
That portrait is absolutely stunning. I love that portrait. That is so good. You're so good. I want your hands.
Thank you. Yeah, that was so nerve-wracking. I think I probably did skip my first class for that because it was like right at the start of the day. I was like, nah, I gotta draw him before I get to class. It was worth it though. It was really cool. But yeah.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Is there any specific field, like within the art world, you want to be in specifically, or?
Good question.
That is a good question. If we're talking money-wise, I would probably want to stay within like the comic cover world, like just sticking to traditional art. But I've always had a love for that mix of like 3D, 2D animation, so stuff like Arcane, I've been obsessed with. So I would love to be either a storyboard artist, and if not, I think I'd be okay with being a comic cover artist, honestly. But I'm still just trying to do everything that I can because I obviously, as you see there, like I do portraits, I do landscapes, I do paintings. So it's just trying to dip my feet into everything before.
That's good. That's good. That's good. You want to do that because if you can do everything, then they're gonna hire you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. You can pick and choose afterwards for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
I gotta say, I met her at Garden State Comic Fest, and I don't know how I missed you this Garden State Comic Fest. Which is funny because I saw Bruce because Bruce was like in the hallway, so I saw him. I was passing by him, but he had people in front of his booth every time I passed by.
I'm sorry.
That's a good problem to have, Bruce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
He's such a nice guy. He's such a nice guy.
I gotta say, Garden State Comic Fest is an amazing convention, and I know that you guys were both doing well because both of you had people in front of you.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I couldn't get up that day. I was so upset. I was like, I want to go see everybody.
That's always the problem. When you're doing well, you can't walk away from the booth.
Yeah, like, I can't complain, but like, I want to complain.
You see, I worked it out though. My wife comes with me, so I get a little time to socialize and see everything else. And my wife, she's already learned the spiel, so I get a few minutes free time. There is an advantage to going in twos.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta say, you are totally right. You do need a partner. I've worked enough booths to know that you need a partner when you go to these places.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed.
I'm so happy to have my parents tag along every convention. They'll just like walk around and like bring people back.
Yeah, I spent more time with your parents at the last one than I did with you.
I see somebody's like, "Yo, managed to catch the stream," and you got a hi, ma'am, and that's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I said, your art's amazing. Oh, dude, Kalei, you have to tell the people what you're doing, and you're gonna need their help because you're gonna want to do a lot of commissions. Go for it.
Yes. So I go to FIT, we all know that, but they just opened up their first study abroad program in Japan to go study anime and manga. It's been like a lifelong dream since I was like a child. So I applied, I got in, but it's like costly. It's like $7,000 and it's due in January. I did put up a GoFundMe if you want to donate. I am also taking commissions. Everything that you think of, superheroes, realistic stuff, comics, portraits, whatever you want. I'm willing to work out a good price if things are out of your price range, but I really, really could use some help. Seriously. Anything, $5, anything.
Kalei, do me a favor, put the link to the GoFundMe in the private chat, and I'll put it up here in the comments.
Awesome, I'll do that right now. I
see we got y'all every type good half in chat and realize your cat is peeing.
Andrew, very relevant to the conversation. Thank you.
It happens to me all the time. He picked it up again with "Your Raven, that Raven looks sick."
Thank you. I keep getting a lot from that. I appreciate it. Yes, NF. I have that. Sorry, one of the comments in NF, but there's an NF poster on. I had to design it for class. I'm a huge NF fan. If you guys know who that is, it's okay.
Kalei, can I ask you a question? I've never asked you before.
Yes.
Do you ever read any of these comic books?
yes, to an extent. My dad would kill me if you heard me say that.
I know your father.
A lot of the stuff, it's probably just like my dad feeding it into me. But if it comes to like me actually reading comics, I'm a huge fan of just indie comics. So stuff like Noctura, Monstrous, Paper Girl, Saga, like that's my domain. But I feel like I don't know, it's just hard to try to get into the comic world when you grow up looking at a lot of modern art, and I'm like, oh, that kind of looks old. I'm just being honest. But no, I should definitely, at least for Spider-Man. I do read a lot of Spider-Man comics, so that's nice. But...
Spidey's good, as long as you're doing it with big eyes. I don't know about the little eye thing. No. Spidey has to have big eyes. But dude, Kalei, this just showcases how broad of range you have. And it's funny that you're saying that because this looks fantastic, and you're like, oh man, that looks old now.
Yeah.
This is what I meant when I said everybody else is artists and talented.
You're a skilled craftsman. That's exactly. Important.
That's true.
That's important. It's I think that comment Sean left was just perfect. Well said. I mean, you have a great attitude about it.
Exactly.
Just great behavior on how that stuff is supposed to be, and giving credit to the artist, but also trying to make something new out of it. That is really important, and I really respect that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ava, now that we have you in the spotlight, why don't you tell the people who you are and all the beautiful things that you do? Go for it.
Okay, cool. Well, hello. My name is Ava Schrager. I'm a comic book artist, 2D animator, illustrator. I'm a lot of things. I do a lot of stuff.
Wow.
But I'm sorry.
Yeah, wow.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, cool. So my journey within the art world is kind of interesting. I started drawing when I was 5, And ever since then, I fell in love with drawing. And I am still obsessed with like the ocean and sea animals and stuff. And I really wanted to be a marine biologist too my whole life. So I kind of had to choose on what am I going to do, you know, be an artist or marine biologist. And once I turned 13, I kind of decided that I want to do art as a career. And so I got into animation. I remember watching this one animation called Dokusei. It is still my favorite animation to ever exist. Favorite movie ever. And it inspired me to want to be an animator. So I'm a comic artist now. But I actually made that transition for a very specific reason. I actually plan on going back into the animation world someday. But yeah, my whole goal at first was I turned 16 and I was like, you know what, I'm going to be an animator. I want to go to Japan. I want to do all these things with animation. And I kept drawing when I was 15. I'm going to back up a little bit. I kept drawing and drawing and drawing. And my dad said, you know, why don't you come up with like your own characters and do your own thing and make your own thing? So then that's when I decided, I was like, nah, I'm good. So then I kept doing animation. And then I saw that Dokusei movie and I was like, I really want to come up with a story, like a good story to suck people in. So when I was 16, I took professional animation classes for 2 years. I started to do professional hours when I was 16. I animated for 14 hours a day for 2 straight years.
Wow.
To prepare myself for this industry, because you really have to decide if this was or is a hobby or a career. And you should know that very fast if this is a hobby or a career. And so once I started to do the 14 hours a day thing with the animating, it was like really just boot camp for me. And I was like, yeah, this is something that I really want to do. When I was 17, I finally came up with an idea for my own comic. And that's the entire reason why I moved into comic books and out of animation. I realized that it's going to be way too hard to pitch like self-made animation that would take forever to make, and it could be instantly denied, and I don't think many people would see it. So I came up with a new plan, and it was to create a comic book of my series, which I'm working on right now. It's called The Heroic Losers, and it's super awesome. I hope people like it, but it's all done by me. Again, created when I was 17. So I've been working on it for a while now. I'm 21 and I just finished book 1, working on book 2 right now, but that's my entire goal. My life is this book. The whole reason I'm here is because of this book. I need to make a name for myself first. You know, that's why I'm doing these conventions. No one even knows about the Heroic Losers yet because it's not the right time. I have to bring people in. I have to get that fan base. People had to be familiar, you know, and with stuff like that. So I've been doing things to reach that goal of just gaining or at least being well known, so that when the comic book, and it's a manga inspired comic book, so it's kind of cool, but I think but you know, but anyway,
it's cool. Important to have that passion, and you can tell that you have that passion. You can tell that you love that and what you're doing, which is all important. Andrew's asking, what inspired you to do the first comic?
What inspired me to do your first comic? So I guess this question can be taken as like, the Heroic Losers, I guess. Well, there's this book that I read, that is called, one of my favorite authors, his name is TJ Klune. And there's this book called, The Lightning Struck Heart. It is one of my favorite book series of all time. It's a novel. And and it is your typical, damsel in distress story. And I was like, this is perfect because there's so many out there, but he twisted it in a way where, like, I enjoyed it a lot, and a lot of other people enjoyed it. So I decided to kind of do the same thing with, and it will also bring in more people to the comic if it is a chiller, more casual plot. It's comedy based as well. And so I feel like that's also going to bring more people, but truly that book series is what kicked the Heroic Losers off. It didn't always start that way though. It was because Heroic Losers is actually a comedy romance fantasy. Okay. When my first idea for a comic was actually a horror comic. So, which is still in the process, but give me like 20 years.
You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, I know, like so I just had this dramatic change of it makes more sense to do the Heroic Losers first, something lighthearted and funny. To me it makes more sense to do that instead and then bring those audiences into horror instead of having a horror book and then bringing them into like a magical fantasy whimsical. That order doesn't really make too much sense to me. So I plan on going the route of the, doing the fun stuff first, I guess.
Did you do all the writing as well?
Yeah, it's all mine. The writing, the pencils, inks, colors. The only thing I'm not going to do is the lettering and the editing. I have my high school teacher is going to be my editor.
That's the way to do it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the goal. The ultimate goal, is to get its own show. That is like the end all be all. Like I said, I plan on going back into animation. I said that I don't ever plan on leaving comics, but I definitely want to make the Heroic Losers an animation. An adult animation.
You're going the right way with this because you're actually building your audience. You're
exactly.
Trying to figure out what works. You're trying to get your stuff out there. And one of the most important things, especially from Kickstarter, is the fact that you need a built-in audience so that you can build on that and get bigger each time.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm doing. Is while I'm making this book, I'm also doing these conventions, and again, no one knows about this book. I feel like this stream is going to be like historical. This is the first time I'm talking about it.
You have to throw it out there somewhere, and now people are going, ooh, what does she have? We want to know what she has.
It's true. But
I've seen Ava at the convention. She is the Taylor Swift of the Garden State Comic Fest world.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I love meeting new people. I can't, I didn't expect to love conventions as much as I have, because I went in with the goal of just, getting known, making some money, and of course meeting people, right? But nothing can describe the amazing feeling of having a customer come back to you after they bought something and they're wearing your stuff. They're wearing your art. That feeling is just absolutely incredible. It's so validating. It makes me happy that I am making someone else happy. Speaking of happiness and stuff, I mean, I'm a commercial artist. There's going to be things that you don't want to draw, but a true artist just likes to draw. If you just want to draw your stuff and just one thing, then this industry probably isn't cut out for that person. Like you've got to open your mind to other things, so you'll grow as an artist and you'll also make more money too. So I used to only draw anime, and my parents were like, girl, no, if you're gonna be an artist, you have got to become a better artist by doing more things. And starting realism, I started realism maybe at like I was like 13 when I started to really focus on realism, and it has just improved my stuff drastically, getting that critique from my parents. Live drawing, I started doing that almost 2 years ago. Live drawing has like tremendously improved my art. So, getting out of your comfort zone and becoming a better version of yourself, really, and your skill, it has tremendously helped me with this book. I started drawing it about 2 years ago, and all of that's deleted. I started drawing Heroic Losers, but I just wasn't ready to draw it yet. So I put it all on hold because I just felt like I wasn't good enough yet for the style that I felt like my story deserved. So I ended up scratching it completely, waiting to get better, and now I'm officially drawing it. And I'm satisfied, I think. So, ooh, that's me on the screen. Okay. Hey, good looking. Girl.
Are we still talking about comic books here?
Oh my God, Ava, you do great work. Somebody says an Iron Man would look so cool in your style.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Commission me and I'll draw whatever you want. Really, as long as it's not hurting anyone and it's legal, I'll draw it. Also to get myself out there, I am doing commissions for some voice actors in the anime and video game world. Right now, I'm doing a piece for Erica Harlicker. She's voiced Venti from Genshin Impact. She's in Final Fantasy VII, Rebirth. She's in like Danganronpa. She's in it all. So I've I'm so honored and privileged that I get to, be able to create art for her so she can go around and have my art and sign it and give it to people. That really means a lot. So right now I'm doing that commission. I'm actually talking to like 4 other big industry professionals of the voice acting world to do art for them for their conventions, right. Which is also helping me get out there because with my comic book, that's manga inspired, so people would want to know like, oh, that's cool art. What else does she do? That's the goal.
That's what you got to do, man. You got to sell yourself. You got to keep going. You got to move out there. You got to figure out how to get your name out there. It's the name of the game.
Yeah, and I know exactly how to do it. It's long. It's a long process. It's longer than anyone would want it to be. But my goal is 10 years. My goal is 10 years for the Heroic Losers to at least have a pitch going to preferably Amazon Prime or A24 Studios. Like that is the main goal. You're probably like, oh my God, what is this book even about?
That's a good question. I'm happy you asked that.
Right? Oh my gosh, I'm so good at asking questions. That's so great. Okay, so I wanted to create something within adult animation. Not that kind of adult animation, okay, but adult cartoons. Japan does very well at this, but when it comes to the West, not really. When we think of adult cartoons here in the West, we think, okay, don't get me wrong. I love South Park. I'm a South Park girly. I love it. You'll always see it on my TV. However, it's ugly. It's ugly, and so is Family Guy, and so is American Dad, and so is Archer. All of these adult cartoons are just straight up fugly looking, right? Like they are ugly. And animation is more than that. We don't want to look at animation and think, oh, that's just for kids. Because every time we think of an adult cartoon, we think of, just South Park, ugly style, not serious, very stiff movement, right? Mm-hmm. When it is truly, in my opinion, 2D animation is the most beautiful art form ever, point blank, period, to me. And I want to bring that to... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I think somebody should tell that to Disney.
Oh my God, don't even get me started.
I think don't Disney's even get me started. 2D, who nobody likes 2D?
Right. I mean, 3D's cheap. 3D's cheap. But you know, if we're gonna, anyway, no 3D animation for heroic losers. Okay, none of that. But what was I saying? Something about something. Something about something. Oh yeah, South Park. Duh. So I really want to get rid of that. You know, animations like not just for kids. It can be for adults, but it can also be beautiful, right? It can be gorgeous. It
Fantasia?
can. Oh yeah, that's a good example. Yeah, or like just an 18 plus good thing. Honestly, I think the perfect example I kind of have of this is Has Been Hotel. That is, which is ironic because you literally have it up.
Yeah, I had it up right now. Yeah, it was.
I honestly think that's a perfect example of heading in the correct direction when it comes to adult animation and cartoons. Because it's gorgeous. The backgrounds are gorgeous. The characters are gorgeous. The background characters are designed.
Artsy, yeah.
So, I mean, it's great, you know. Again, Japan does that very well. They're all about the adult or cartoons and stuff. But over here, we really want to fix that. We really want to change that. So I think that show has, or, you know, I read the comic a long time ago. You know, I've known about this stuff for a long time. And I think it really inspired me to just straight up go into the adult side of things. The Heroic Losers is 18 plus. I will never sell it to a minor. And if you are a minor and you're reading it, don't tell me about it. And put the book down. Go pick your nose on the playground. Put the book down, okay? This is for adults. But I really just want to bring that energy to the West of animation is so much more than what people make it out to be over here. So that, oh my gosh, hey girl. Hey girl. That actually, wow, you stumbled upon the perfect picture. That is actually one of the characters. That's Dan. I did this little special Christmas thing. It's funny because no one really knows about it, but I thought I would do an Easter egg because I'm like, oh, 10 years in the future, people are going to look at my profile and they're going to find this. And it's going to be like, oh my God.
You told us about it before.
I know.
Without telling us.
Ava, is it just me or does that young lady look a lot like you?
Funny that you say that. That's actually like a femboy. Right now, like kind of the same. But that is a character named Dan. And yeah, no, he's a girly dude.
Wait. The young lady that I see under the Christmas tree is a young lady.
That's the dude.
Well, I think we've just reached the point where my age is completely showing.
Again, it's an adult cartoon, right?
That is
like
adult. But at the same time, it's kind of anime.
It is, you know, it is anime because there's so many characters where you're like, is that a boy or a girl? Exactly. I like, don't know. It's like, ooh. But yeah, I think, you know, I'm so confident in this book. I'm not cocky because if I was cocky, I would have just published it and just like whatever. But I'm really taking the time to perfect this book because it truly is my everything. I only have about 5 people reading it right now, like the actual book. I only have 5 people who can access it right now.
You have to have someone to read it.
Yeah, you have to have someone to read it. But it's hard to explain what it's about without swearing because that's like the point.
Don't worry, I already swore a couple times, so.
Okay.
I told you I'll be the first one to break it.
Okay, cool. I'm not going to say too much about it, but I will say that it's very D&D inspired. It's not totally D&D because I am not trying to target that super specific audience because I feel like this is something anyone can enjoy from any background of what they like. So it's definitely D&D inspired. There's the villain is a 90-foot tall, small-dicked douchebag dragon. So that's awesome. Who doesn't love that? And it's about
language, so
Yeah, it's got wizards and knights and bards and humor and funny stuff.
All right. You had us as dragons.
Yeah, okay, cool. Sold. But yeah, I plan for it to be published and out in 2 to 3 years, hopefully 2, but we'll see.
Good timetable.
Yeah, it's difficult because I'm doing like 90% of, like 95% of this book. I mean, like everything. I have my translators already. Excuse me. I have my Italian translator. Like, so I'm getting my networking in so that I can get people to do that for me, because I would love for it to be sold everywhere. But the main place you can get it is basically going to be online, because that's pretty much king nowadays. You know, would I prefer someone to buy it? Absolutely. Am I going to complain if someone's reading it illegally? Not really. Am I going to be kind of sad that, you know, no cash? Well, not quite, because as long as you're reading it, then like you're getting it out there, and the more you get it out there, then the more
of a
money I can make.
You.
Yeah, exactly, in the future. But yeah, no, I know I didn't really talk much about what the series is truly about, but you have to be careful. You don't want someone like taking your.
You got to do that balance, because you have to figure out how much you can say, how much you cannot say. It's a tough balance.
Yeah, definitely. And you know, I mean, if you like fantasy, if you like romance, and especially if you like comedy, if you want to laugh, definitely read this book. I definitely want to be someone's escape from reality. You know, if someone's having a bad day at work, someone got broken up with, someone lost a friend, someone's cat died, you know, you kind of want to look for something to distract yourself from the real world sometimes. Not completely, but, you know, just something to distract you and keep your mind off of things and just escape into a fantasy world that is comforting for you. Right. And I think we all have that. And I really want the Heroic Losers to be that for somebody. Who's typing?
It's Christian.
Sorry, my bad. Sorry.
It's so
okay.
funny.
Sorry.
It's so funny.
Girl, who's keys?
Ava, you're saying all that stuff, and I feel like it's a great segue for our friend DM Tauzin, because you know he's an escape from reality. He's D&D. He's a voice actor. You know what?
Yeah.
Tauzin, you tell them. Go ahead.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on the show, man. I appreciate it. My name is DM Tauzin. I am a DM, a dungeon master. I've got a number of things going on. I didn't think this was something that I could do as a career, but this is what I'm a professional DM now, and I have been for the past 3 years now. I did do free dungeon mastering, you know, for the past 25 years before I went pro. So I have a lot of experience under my belt. But my goal as a dungeon master is to inspire people not just to play D&D, but to DM themselves, because I think the world needs more people spearheading this. There's just not enough DMs out there. I've done the math. There's just not enough. There's too many people. There's too many players out there who want to play and can't find someone to do it, or they just don't.
You know what it is? You know, it's the fact that nobody wants to be the DM. They don't want
to. It's a lot of work. It is.
Yeah.
I could sit here and say that it's not a lot of work, but it is.
We all know it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, but it's approachable. It's still approachable, because D&D 5e is, in my opinion, the best edition that has come out. I know a lot of people prefer 2 or 3, or some people even prefer 4, but I think this is the best one they've come up with yet. So I started doing this like 3 years ago. Just started building my audience, building my player base. I started out with practically nobody, and now I have about, it depends on the month, but anywhere from 60 to 120 players playing D&D with me. and it is an absolute blast. What you're seeing right here is my Planescapers live show that I stream on Tuesday nights, but it's going to be Monday nights we're switching to Monday nights so I can get it. So I can go a little bit earlier so my East Coast audience they can watch it live and not watch it at like 1 a.m. But that's is Monday night. Yeah, it actually really, really is important. Time zones are really, really important, I have learned. So there's my Twitch, DM Tauzin Presents link to go follow that if you can. I'm also on Discord. You can find me there, DM Tauzin, DM Tauzy. And yeah, man, I play D&D now. Now I'm at a spot where I play D&D 6 or 7 times a week. I mean, literally almost every day. And right. I thought I was really scared, like 2-3 years ago when I first started, I was like, I'm going to get bored of this. I'm going to start to hate it. But it hasn't happened. And it's because it's really because of the player base, because players keep surprising me with the ridiculous things they do inside the games. So
it's amazing what players will do. Yeah, completely.
Yeah, no, it's nuts. It's always nuts. It's always something. It's always an idiotic idea that turns out to be the smartest thing in the room. Whatever ideas I come up with, it's never. And you will, if you DM, you'll understand this. Whatever ideas that you as a DM come up with, never match what 4 to 6 people's minds creatively come up with together.
Completely.
Yeah.
You think you do, but no.
Nope. Nope. They know better. They know better. Instinctively, they just know better. So yeah, that's what I do. If you want to play with me, I'm typically doing free one-shots. I put them up on Roll20. I do those every Friday. But if you want to play, or if you're interested in watching or following the channel, that'd be great. Come follow and sub to the channel. And yeah, find me on Discord. And if you want to play, let me know.
I have a question.
Yeah. What's the question?
Oh, sorry. Okay. So, what is your favorite campaign you've ever done?
My favorite campaign is one that I'm running right now. I'm running 3 of them concurrently. And it's called Tomb of Annihilation. Does anybody know what Tomb is? Tomb is there's a old module called Tomb of Horrors, which is basically a meta dungeon in the sense that the creator created it because he was angry at his players. He was angry at them for playing overpowered. He couldn't kill them, so he created a dungeon meant to hurt them. And so it's rough. I wouldn't suggest it. It's too mean. But what they did was the 5e they recreated the dungeon. They call it Tomb of Annihilation, and then they created a module around it. So they created an entire jungle, all these different events that lead up to it, and a port city. So it's my favorite. It's also an old school hex crawl, which if you know hex crawls, it's like very crunchy, very granular way to explore the world.
Yeah,
and it's a blast. It's an absolute blast. And the story's pretty basic, but they've expanded upon it. It's brilliant. And then my second favorite is Curse of Strahd. Curse of Strahd is just great.
Good choices. Good choices.
Yeah, I mean they're the best ones. I think they're really great. And 5e did a great job. Yeah.
I gotta say, I got a chance to play with Tauzin because our friend DM Ray did a tier in his Kickstarter where you could play your personal comic book character or your created character in this game with a bunch of other people, and it was a bunch of creators playing their characters, and it was just a blast. So you guys should go check out Tauzin because he does a fantastic job of keeping all the crazy together.
That's your job. Your job is to keep the crazy on one train. Keep it going. DM Ray's awesome. He's such a cool dude. And then he sent me his comic to read it, and I was like, oh, I really want to know what happens next.
Oh, dude, it's right out of a freaking of D&D.
It really is.
As you're reading it, you're like, I can play this game.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
And you're working with Chad now because Chad just finished his Kickstarter recently, and he did put the tier there as well, and he's actually gathering a group together so they and I'm probably going to be playing that one too. So that's
great, man. I got all these one shots. I got so many one shots. Yeah, I'm playing.
See, there you have it, folks. And it's a great tier. I actually love the fact that DM Ray and Chad put this in, because who doesn't want to play their comic book character? It's just amazing to be able to. And I gotta say this, like, as I was creating the character to play D&D, it helped me understand the character that I was gonna play even more, because now you're breaking down the character to work with D&D.
Yeah,
and it actually helps you understand the character, because you need to break them apart to put them back together.
Yeah, sometimes you need to put them in the fire. Like, what happens if things get really rough? What happens if you start poking and prodding them at different angles? Like, then you start to really see, oh, this is how he reacts. Oh, cool.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is. You start getting into his head.
Mm-hmm.
And as somebody who writes, it's great to see how the dialogue actually works.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes one of the hardest things about writing is dialogue.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I put the link to your Twitch in the comments to make it easier for everybody going, I don't want to do the work, Ralph. So it's easier. There it is. No more excuses. No more being lazy. It's already in the comment section. So all you got to do is press it.
Thank you, Ralph. Appreciate that, man. We also do, I've also started doing PvP and TVT PvP.
Interesting.
So 5e's not made for this. It's not designed.
No, it's not. I was about to say, I'm not sure how you're doing it.
It's not. But I've managed to finagle and work the rules a bit so that I have something called the Grand Coliseum player versus player. So people create characters and they battle each other battle royale style. And then I have a team versus team style, which is I need to be even more hands-on. I've learned it needs to be even more balanced. But they're both.
That's a lot to be in charge of.
Yeah. You when those I'm definitely more of a referee, and when those I'm definitely like a rules lawyer. I'm trying to massage the entire situation, but it's super fun. 5e's not made for it, but I've worked it to make it really enjoyable. Yeah, so come watch that. Those are like one Sunday and one Monday a month, although the Monday might have to change now. But once a month we do those. They're a blast. Yeah.
There you have it, folks. Go check out Tauzin out.
Thank you.
Christian, now we're over here with you, and you're going to start talking about this beautiful Kickstarter you have coming. It starts in 2 days, right?
Yeah, on Thursday, July the 18th. It's going to be something like 4:30 p.m. EST. So you can guys figure out from there, because I know that like way too many time zones. Yeah, there's the Pacific, and there's the mountain one and the central one. I say, Jesus, that's a lot of time zone for a country, dude. I'm joining in from the other side of the pond. I live in Ireland, although I'm Spanish, but I've been living here almost 7 years, and that's the new thing. Pinocchio is the Unpopular Tales Volume 2. The first one we published something like 10 years ago. That's when we started in comics.
Wow.
And I come from theater. That's what I studied. I studied theater and cinema back in the day in New York. And I also saw Ava and you guys were mentioned to the Garden State. So I'm going to be in NYCC this year.
Oh,
so
nice.
To meet you guys there in New York. So we have a booth there with a couple of bodies. So, yeah.
I get to meet you in person finally.
The what?
I get to meet you in person finally.
Yeah, for sure, man. We're going to get some real time together finally.
Yeah,
I met so many people online, some friends in DC too, and Pennsylvania I'm gonna go visit. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun trip, hopefully. And this is the second, as I mentioned before, second part of the Unpopular Tales. I'm not an artist. I don't draw. I don't do anything like that. Nothing fancy. I just write. I do everything except the art. For that, I have way more talented and skilled people than me, for sure. And the whole idea within the Unpopular Tales is to bring back the classical folktales and give it to a 21st century spin. We started back in the day with Red Riding Hood, and this is Pinocchio. And the whole idea behind it is, what was if Geppetto was born in the 22nd century, and Pinocchio was an android he created in order to bring back some peace between the man and the machines. In this scenario, the war had already happened, the one that a lot of people have already predicted, and of course we have lost terribly, and Geppetto is like in a bunker creating this android that also can look like a human being, can pass as a human being because she has some technology that creates skin and hair and stuff like that, so she can pass as a human being. But in order to bring balance to these two camps have been like killing each other for centuries now, and that's the whole idea behind it. So hopefully, yeah, this Thursday we started. This is gonna be the number one. We want to do at least 4 numbers, and then put that in a tray bag. And we finish those 4, and this is the first one. That's the trailer. Yeah, that really summarized a lot better than me. You can see the art and all that. So
I'll play the trailer so everybody can see. Here we go.
Who am I, you ask? I was created in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by the waste of a dying world. I was bestowed with an insurmountable task. Bring peace after decades of death, persecution, and chaos. I am a grandchild of war, destined to help 2 camps which hate has fueled for far too long. Surprisingly, I am not alone. Have an odd bunch to make the road a little more bearable. Come with me to bring hope where there was despair, respect where there was resentment, creativity where there was destruction. I am Pinocchio, and this is my story.
And you have it, folks. Now we have more of an understanding of Christian's beautiful work, and it looks interesting.
Thank you.
I like the direction you're going with this.
Yeah, this is a project I started something like 8 years ago. I'm working IT, so I have the privilege to be part of some one of the early stages of AI. We're working this in YouTube, to be specific. About we were training an AI to detect something, certain things that shouldn't be on the platform.
Right.
And I was intrigued by that. Hey, how if this is a very small project here in Europe, and normally Google works in what is now a need to know basis. So Department A doesn't know what Department D is doing, and you don't know what the other guy in the next door is doing. So I was always intrigued by that. Say, hey, if this is us, this very small department, what else is the guy working on here, or what else are they doing in Silicon Valley? Where are they going? So, and I started that. So, and we saw the whole idea of Pinocchio as this the ultimate marionette, the ultimate puppet, and how would it be if we use those elements and put in a different context, and to talk about something that is now so in fashion, the AI and machines and what is coming and what is already here, and what we're going to be in 50 or, well, not in 50, in 10, 20 years time.
It's something that's natural because we're diving into this thing. So yeah, it makes so much sense.
Yeah, this is we didn't plan it that way. We have already written like 6 or 8 pieces of the Unpopular Tales. So we have Ray, as I mentioned. We also have Hasan and Gretel. We have Beauty and the Beast. But everyone is a different topic. Everyone's a different. And then we saw that, hey, why not start with Pinocchio? First we did Funk Joy. Sorry, Bruce. You were saying.
No, I was going to ask you a question real quick.
Sure.
How are people like you going to be able to, in the future, sell, market what you do as something I saw in your credits and it just went off boom in my head? Art, art for humans by humans. How is the world going to differentiate art created by hands and brains rather than art created by numbers and machines? And I mean, is that where we're heading? Where your skills and everyone here tonight's skills will just be meaningless? I don't know. I probably won't live to see that, but it certainly concerns me.
I don't think it will be meaningless. I don't want to scare people off. I think that's a huge mantra that's going lately that this is gonna destroy everybody and destroy the industry, stuff like that. But I see it also as a technology, as an opportunity. You know,
It's a tool.
It's something we've been discussing a lot in a podcast that I normally do with a couple of buddies of ours, and I think this is gonna be like wine. If to make it a quick example so people can understand, you're gonna have the cheap one. The mass consume one that's gonna be done by machine, and then you're gonna be done the more for connoisseurs and for people who enjoy it, that's gonna be done by humans. And I think that the thing that's gonna differentiate the most is the price point, of course, because you were mentioned before the 20 hours or 50 hours or whatever hours it takes you to do something, and my machine just spit it out. And then of course they're getting better and better, but you're always gonna go back to consume from us, from your, let's say, from a person like you, so you know that it's been more handcrafted, more handmade.
Mm-hmm.
But the other model is still gonna be there. So for somebody who wants a quick fix or something quick and cheap and fast, they're gonna have that one. So, but I think it's a way of differentiate each other from what it can be done automatically or without soul or without that twist. So I don't really fear it that much. I think it's gonna be huge. It's gonna solve a lot of issues in a lot of areas that we're not seeing, like medicine, like healthcare, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna help enormously there. And I don't think that's gonna be like a lot of people are predicting that, hey, we're just gonna destroy any of the arts and stuff like that. Because
right. So in 25 years, Ava and Kalei will still have jobs?
Yeah.
Sure. It's going to be a lot different because I also work in animation, and what I have been seeing lately in animation studios is like all the juniors are gone, the majority. You only stay like the senior ones with the a lot of hours and belts and I don't know, and the one that know how to use the technology to their advantage too. So I don't think that's going to disappear. I think a lot of all the different jobs are going to be created. You're going to have people who are going to be specialists in like handling that type of technology. So I want to bring everybody to be. I think it's a hopeful time, and the thing is that it's true that the tsunami that this is gonna bring is gonna change everything. But not only our industry, but everything you can think of, from transportation. I mentioned before, healthcare,
things we can't imagine yet.
Exactly.
Yeah, for me, it's like the invention of electricity. That's the level of change that this is going to bring.
Well, I get a kick out of it because I'm the oldest person in the room tonight, as we said. And when I talk to people that are so much younger, they can't imagine a world without the internet. And I tell them I grew up with a black and white television and a rotary phone. And so what you're saying is take my little story and multiply it by 1,000 or 1,000,000. And it's going to be spectacular.
Yeah,
there's
funny, a lot of
just to throw something in there, or just to be the devil's advocate. I'm probably pretty close to your age, Bruce. I'm in my 50s, so pretty close to your age.
Don't rush it.
I come from that world. I come from that same world as you, and it's funny because I run into these kids who should know how to use the internet better than I do, and if you throw something at them so they can search it out on the internet, they'll type it in and go, I looked. I'm like, no, you didn't. You just typed something in there and you looked at it, and but you can't find it. And then I'll type it in a certain way, and I'll find it. And they're like, how did you do that? I'm like, you ask the right questions, you get the right answer. So I feel like even as if AI gets to where it's gonna go, there's always gonna be this world where you need the people that know what they're doing.
I hope so.
Yeah. And I feel like the art, the writing, the voiceovers, I feel right now AI is nowhere near where it needs to be in order for that to sound or look the way it's supposed to. I can spot writing that has been written by AI. I can see it right away, and I can hear the voiceovers right away because certain things they can't pronounce, certain things they can't say. Right now you can catch it, you can see it in the art. It's funny because I know Ava and Kalei know that one of the hardest things to do is hands, and AI still has an issue with doing hands. It can't.
And eyes,
Yeah,
pupils, the pupil.
exactly.
Yeah.
Feet. No, but that it's getting better. The thing is that as I mentioned, we're just I give this analogy the other day. The thing that we're seeing now is just like not even the tip of the iceberg. It's like the crust on the tip of the iceberg.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like today. And the thing with technology, as you know, is it grows exponentially. It doesn't grow linear. So it goes from 1 to 0 in X amount of time. But I think that the most important thing in this topic is to remember that a machine can never be able to copy what is called style, what is called tone, what is called voice, and that's what people need to really focus on and stop doing just fan art and I go and do it because I like this one or I like this X or whatever is that. No, machine's gonna be able to do that faster and better than you. So just concentrate on you, concentrate on what you can bring to the table, what you can offer differently. And I think nobody can really substitute that because at the end of the day, you're not only buying a piece of art for a person, you're buying this person too, their experiences and their background and whatever makes them different. And I think it's gonna be, as I mentioned before, 2 types of markets or maybe 3 types of market. One's gonna be combined. And by the way, because somebody asked me about this, everything that we do is 100% a human being. The voiceover is not a machine. That's an actress. It's a filter to make it sound like a machine, but it's not AI generated voice or stuff like that. I heard somebody in a comment say,
I like this comment.
You don't know what you're talking about.
People who like art will always pay for original art. And I completely agree. It's the real, it's the retail side of things, mad produced side where computer art will thrive, unfortunately. I feel like, if you want an artist's art, you're going to go look for that artist to do that. If I want an Ava art and I see Ava, you have a certain style, I'm going to go looking for that. Okay. You definitely have a certain style, and I'm going to go looking for a Kalei art because I want that art. Christian's completely right, and the comments are completely right. You're always going to be looking for that, especially if us geek comic people are still around. We want the original.
I think eventually we're going to get to a point. This is far in the future, but I think eventually we're going to see those labels on food, this is organic, non-GMO stuff. I think
I agree.
Someday we're going to get to a made by 100% human, not made by AI, labels on some things.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because we had that on our comics now.
Yeah.
Everything we produce is 100% done by humans. So just to keep it clear so nobody has any doubts.
I agree with everything everybody said, but I'll give you one concern is that you guys are talking about something where the value system already exists because we have the choice now of, let's call it natural and machine made. As AI and machines, continue to grow, there'll be less and less people possibly doing it by hand. So the value inherent in art by hand, I hope I'm wrong. I'm not advocating for this.
Bruce, it has nothing to do with anything. It's just the fact that as people, we strive to be artistic. We have this thing that needs to come out of us. So I really doubt that we're going to stop trying to bring this thing out of us. The reason we make comics, the reason we do art, the reason we write poetry, the reason we write, the reason we play Dungeons and Dragons, the reason we do all this stuff is because we're looking for a release of this inner thing that needs to come out, and I feel like that's always going to be there. And people, even if the computers are doing whatever they're doing, you're going to have people going, I'm still doing what I want to do.
I hope
and more important, it's gonna be people who still gonna consume it, because what is happening now in the art spectrum is what happened with the music industry 10, 15 years ago, when Napster came and the internet came and everybody thought, oh, this is the death of music. Music hasn't died, hasn't gone anywhere. It has changed for sure. The industry has changed a lot, but the artists are there. There's more music than ever, and everybody wants to go to a live gig because that cannot be substituted by anything that you do on a screen. So
I love and support your optimism. I pray that you're all correct.
Yeah,
dude. Humans by nature are rebellious, even when it goes against their own good. So they're gonna rebel no matter what happens. And that much I know, because I've seen people, even when it's good for them, they'll rebel against it.
Christian was. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that's called being a teenager.
that's correct.
You gonna say, Ava?
Oh yeah. Christian was like super right when he said how fast AI is improving. There's this AI that came out over a year ago, and it was of like Will Smith eating spaghetti, and it was like pretty bad.
Yeah.
And
it was.
They did it. Yeah, they did it again a year later, and it is drastically improved. Like it is,
but at the same time, you can still tell that it's fake.
Oh yeah, no, totally. It still looks fake, but the point I'm trying to make is,
I know it's gotten better. Yeah,
how much better it got in such a small amount of time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So imagine looking that up in like 5 years. Who knows? We might not be able to tell the difference between reality and not in 5 years. I mean, considering that small time frame for that drastic like change is a little concerning.
Yeah, and you have to remember that that's the technology they show it that is outside. That's not the one they have in the ballrooms or in the meetings or in the.
Oh no, that's yeah.
So again, I want to scare anybody. I think that the future is bright. It looks bright. I'm one of those half full kind of guys. Glass. I'm a pragmatist too. I know that we're gonna have to adapt to a lot of things because this is something that cannot be stopped. And as I mentioned before, I think I compare it to the invention of electricity. So imagine how much we have changed since we have electricity in our homes. How much everybody has life changed. We are not even Bruce that you mentioned a little bit older than us. He has electricity all his life in his house. But I don't know, people from like my great grandma, they were still doing like coal and stuff like that. So things have changed for the better in a lot of ways.
Yes,
it's true that some other things have been that great, but I think that we will get there. We'll get there. I'm not really funny, negative about that.
As a rebellious person, because I've always been the rebel, I think it's funny that what this AI is being used for, and I feel like it's being done on purpose, is to go after the artistic people. If I want computers to do something, I want them to do the house chores. I wanted to do the washing of the dishes. I wanted to do leave the arts to me. Leave my poetry to me. Leave my Oh, that's another thing. Tauzin, I don't know if you've seen this, but there's this AI DM.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so far, it has not impressed me.
Oh, it didn't. Yeah, it doesn't scare me. I think I'm secure. It is amazing that people suspected all these things that AI would do, and then it hits the artistic community first.
Exactly.
Like it directly came for us first. But I'm not. I think I use it for what it's worth. Like all my players use it to generate character portraits sometimes. Yeah. But then I still think it's valuable. Like we commissioned an illustrator to draw the players' portraits for Planescapers, just because I want that feel to it. So I think that there's a good balance we can reach where we use both. Yeah.
And I've seen the AI drawings for the characters, but I've also seen some a player fall in love with this artist who's captured the soul of their character in no way that the computer was able to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the other day, anything that is creative is about contact and about community and about connection. So it's very complicated to connect to a piece of hardware, or to as I mentioned before, a screen. You're always gonna go back to the human aspect of it. There's a fantastic film I saw some years ago. It was this about the introduction of robots to help the elderly and to pay attention to that and stuff like that. And at the end, of course, it's a big rejection because you know that that's not alive, quote unquote alive, you know.
Yeah.
So, but it's gonna be a learning curve for sure.
I completely agree. You know, we'll see what happens. You know, we're gonna need Kaleys, we're gonna need Avas, we're gonna need Tauzis, we're gonna need Christian Douglases, we're gonna need Bruces. I do not see us going anywhere. You know, and I do see that AI is gonna do certain things, but I really feel like people are gonna be like, okay, that was nice, but I want somebody to do it the right way.
I gotta have an example of that, actually. There was a Catholic charity that launched AI priest. I don't know if anyone knows about that story, but the priest, Father Justin, he told a user that you need to baptize babies in Gatorade. And they took it down after the complaints because Father Justin was saying some crazy stuff. So let's hope no babies got baptized in Gatorade.
That was surely not the blue Gatorade.
Yeah, or at least Father Justin needs to tell us what kind of Gatorade, right? Because I'm not going to do it in purple Gatorade. That's gross.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. As long as we're on the same page. Cool.
Oh, man.
Our book is mainly for people who like stuff like Ghost in the Shell, Akira, you know. All
you can feel it. From the video and from what you've been saying, you can actually feel it. And you know, it's funny because you actually are tackling what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, this is the whole thing. This is like after all that, but we plan to do because normally what we do is first we do the comics and then we do like a novel, like a companion to it.
Mm-hmm.
So we delve more deeply into a lot of things, and then with the novel we want to do is like the story of Geppetto, because Geppetto is like a grandchild of the war. And he's one of the few human beings that still lives there, and he's a nomad. He's escaping all the time. He's controlled. Sometimes he gets captured. He escapes. So that's the story of. So he's gonna want. This is gonna want to tell the story of the war. The Pinocchio is like after that. So what happens after that battle goes through and we lose very badly. So and also because I wanted to my whole idea is that how to look at the story of human beings and the conflict from the machine point of view. So how will a machine will look at that? How will she or it will react to this organic beings that even they're not that very imperfect, they strive for perfection, or they strive to be better, or the opposite, they strive to be the worst they can be and destroy each other, kill each other, and destroy their environment. And so my idea is to have that, to have like a neutral quote unquote version on us as a species, and I think that's a really what excites me, and because it's something that hasn't been explored that much. Machines either look like as a friend or as something cool or whatever, right, or like a total menace, but not so much as, hey, what if this thing we really want to learn, or really want to get appreciated, and really want to know why human beings act that way, and what makes them human, what makes them special or not special. Because maybe we think we are, as a species, we are very naive and very egocentric in that sense, that we think that we are made of an image of a superior being, and we are immortal and blah blah blah, and so maybe we are not. We have these just tales we have created for each other, because we are afraid of the dark. So yeah, I know it's a little bit too much for this time of the day, but some stupid fish grew legs, and now I have to pay taxes.
Exactly.
This sucks.
No, it's not. It's just a moment of okay.
What is the purpose of anything anymore?
You bumping us out, Ralph.
It's all part of the geeking out. You know, when you geek out, you just end up in a place, man.
You just get geeking, yeah. Yeah, philosophy time.
Yeah, the story is 12 and up, and there's no gore, there's no nudity, so parents can be safe in that sense. But it's true that it tackles some very deep and questions, and
some of the best stuff we've seen tackles the hardest things, you know, and I think you're doing it in a good way.
It's a very humane book.
Exactly.
Yeah, correct. We're not that, for example, in this first number, there's no humans at all. It's just machines all the time. So we're gonna see.
I noticed in the video that you kind of saw mostly machines. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no because all this. The first number is in a dumpster when she was created, and all that explores that the first part. You know, because this is like a dumpster of broken toys. So all the robots that don't want to be part of the conflict, they don't want to come on humans, and don't want to be not aligned. So they exile themselves in this place to be kind of like isolated from that. But she needs to go into that world and see both camps as they are. One is hiding underground and underwater, while the other one is on a city, of course, established by themselves, you know, and pure beings and reigning all of the planet. So it's the first part is this one, like the outcasts of the camps of the robots. You know, that's all the one that you see on the video.
And folks, you know, like we like to say here, you know, make sure you go and sign up to get notified, because it's actually free to sign up and get notified, and actually helps the project out immensely, because it actually puts them in a better part of the algorithm once the Kickstarter starts. The more people they have following the project, the better it is for the project when it starts. And I made it easier for you guys, because I don't know, Ralph, it's kind of hard to go find the link. So I put the link right in the comment section. So there's no excuse about, Ralph, I want to go. No. It's right there, the comment section. It's easy. Go, press the button. Go for it.
Yeah, you even have an URL. You just put unpopulartales.com and you're there. So you don't have to even remember anything.
I have a question.
Simple, even a machine could do it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Do you have to read your books in like chronological order, or can you just like pick one up?
Our idea is that people can pick them up separately.
Yeah.
But it's true that there's gonna be a lot of things that are not gonna. I don't think they're gonna make sense, but they're not gonna fully understand if they haven't read the whole story.
Okay.
Because it's a world that's all interconnected, but it's true. But we wanted to have it, a little bit separate one from the other, although it's the same story. Oh yeah, for sure. I think you can say so. I would say like 75%, 25%. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get 75% just by what you're reading, but you're gonna need a couple of details of the previous issue or the one that's gonna come afterwards, because it's all creating. I'll give you an example. The book that we did before this was Punk Droid. I talked to Rafael last year, is cyberpunk, and I have 3 stories in that book. All the 3 stories are set in the same universe, quote unquote, the same time, but are totally different from each other, because one is about Geppetto, for example, the other one was about a guy that's a serial killer, but he only kills like robots, stuff like that. So, but it's all in the same world. You don't really know it. I know it because I wrote it, obviously, but it's the same vibe. And some of those characters are gonna echo in this story too. So yeah.
Sounds good, folks. You should really check it out. Go check it out. Go and sign up to get notified, because like I said, it's free and it helps.
Yes, a lot, for sure.
What I will do right now is, Tauzin, I'm going to show one of your videos over here.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so that the folks can get an idea of what you're doing. Let's see. This one started already, so maybe I'll show the second one. Hold on.
I was really intrigued. How do you say you were professional? They pay you to host the thing, or the?
This is different. This is my Planescapers live stream show, which I just started. We're on episode 20 now, so we've been doing this for like 5 months. But I'm a professional, so yeah. People pay me to be their DM, and I do that about 5 or 6 days a week. Mm-hmm.
So you do both, like online, mostly online, I suppose.
Mostly, 95% of it is online. It's even more. It's a lot more expensive if it's in person, because you got to do. you got to do a lot more work. I mean, speaking of machines doing work for you, Roll20 and D&D Beyond and Zoom do a lot of the heavy lifting. So it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier online. It's better in person, which is weird, but do what you got to do. When I'm
playing, the game is different in person. I completely agree with you.
What's that?
I said the game is different in person. I can completely agree with you.
Oh yeah, so it's just more visceral, But
for enough money, you'd make a house call.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And he's right though. If you guys are looking for something to do, especially if you're a DM out there, right now people are looking for DMs. That's why actually Tauzin is doing pretty decent, is because people want somebody to handle this stuff because it's not easy. Tauzin says the right thing. It is not an easy thing to be a dungeon master.
What is the because I'm actually trying to become a DM. My friend Paul is gonna be teaching me how to DM and stuff, because I just really want to be a storyteller with DMing. And what advice could you give someone who wants to start DMing like me?
Good question.
What's the best way to immerse someone in your story?
The best way to immerse someone in your story. Okay. I mean, immersion comes up a lot. I would say don't worry too much about immersion, because the reason I love dungeon mastering is because of players' ability to suspend their disbelief. Yep. It's incredible. When you go to a movie, you don't have to. You're there. You're in the world. But in reality, you're just sitting in a theater, right? Mm-hmm. If you go to a play, you go to a musical, you're in the world. It's very easy for us as humans to just imagine and jump into the world and pretend we're there. So that's not where the hard work is. If you just describe a room, and as a DM, you describe what's in it, it's a dark room. You see a chest over in the corner. It's an old, beaten, red, weathered chest. There are cobwebs all over it. And in the recess of the other corner of the room, you see two yellow eyes suddenly pop open. I mean, I'm just describing the room. You, the player, are doing the lion's share of work imagining it.
Exactly.
Right. So in terms of immersion, you're not doing the work. The players are. You just need to prepare and create what you want. Have fun and create. Yeah. Create the experience that you want them to have. They will have it. Yeah. As long as you just got to do the prep work. The prep work's the hard work. That's it.
And don't get stuck on what you prepared. Just go with the flow. Go with what they're going with. It's in reality, you're just telling them a story that they're part of. So they're going to change your story as they go through it. So just be prepared to go with the flow.
Yeah. Like if someone's going to do something that breaks the rules, but it's super fun, then I would totally allow that, because it's all about having fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, but we call it the rule of cool. Yeah, you should awesome. Use it. Use the rule of cool. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Let's play a little bit of Tauzin here doing his thing. Hold on.
Yes. Can we do one chore in Sigil before we go to wherever we're going to go?
What is your chore in Sigil?
Grammaticus and I wanted to look for an artificer shop in Sigil. We want to give them the paintball gun that we found and pay them to see if they can figure it out and if they can make it shoot things that are not little balls of paint.
Can we
table it?
Can we table that right now? Let's table that for now.
Is Soulstalker a title or is it your name?
I was given this name as but a pup.
Oh.
I forge souls. We are gifted, we godsmen.
What kind of stuff can you do?
Weapons, armor, shields, that which forges your hand, your arm, your very soul.
I have this paintball gun here.
Oh my God.
I don't know if there's anything you can do with this. I've been looking for an armor for a while.
Hey Tauzin,
yes.
Can we do one chore in Sigil before we go to wherever we're going to go?
What is your chore in Sigil?
Grammaticus and I wanted to look for an artificer shop in Sigil.
There you go. Now we can talk.
Your voice acting is amazing.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
That was awesome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, Tauzin does a great job at putting you in there. Talk about immersion.
I do. I do talkbacks on my Twitch channel as well. Like I just I try to do those once a month and do a topic. And the last topic was social, as in like the social column of gaming. And so I talked about accents and flaws, ideals, traits, and bonds, how to build a character, how to build an NPC, affectations, talked about all manner of things. So yeah, I do that too. I do talkbacks. Come hang out on the channel.
I remember that I have a friend who is like really deep into that, and he mentioned that, hey, you write, so you like to tell stories, so you'd be definitely good for this one. Because it's like a combination of a writer, actor, and like referee.
That's what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
That's what it is.
I have to say that my D&D and Vampire the Masquerade have helped out my writing immensely. You know, if it wasn't for both of those, I wouldn't be the writer that I am today. I can tell you that much.
I played a little Masquerade in college. It's a great game.
Dude, it is such a deep, rich. If you like role playing, Vampire the Masquerade will give you some role playing.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of your Pinocchio puppet, my character, my Vampire the Masquerade, because I have a lot of training in puppetry. So what my vampire in college was, she created a puppet that she would have in her strings that would lure victims to her. So there would always be a little child like running just out of view. And so debutantes in New Orleans would be like, oh, what is that? I'd have just kind of creeping along, shadows, and then I'd feed. It would be one of those. Yeah.
Damn.
That was a cool
arc.
That was really nice. Yeah.
We're still talking make-believe, though, right?
What's that, Bruce?
We're still talking make-believe, though, right?
Yeah, it's make-believe.
Yeah. Not according to the people in the 90s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In the 90s, we were rebels. We were devil worshippers.
Oh yeah. I mean, Stranger Things was kind of triggering for me because, like, I was kicked out of places for my satanic deeds of playing D&D. It's a real thing. Like, it was a different time and it was a different game. It's much more mainstream. I love how it's grown, but if you would have told me back then that it would be what it is now, no way. I would have laughed in your face.
Yeah, it was all secret back then. You played in secret. You did everything in secret, and when anybody found out, you got beat up.
Same thing with anime. Same thing with anime. It's same exact thing.
Exactly the same thing. Because
sounds like every episode of The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, you don't tell anybody. You didn't tell anybody in the 90s you were watching anime.
Yeah, no. Not that I can relate to it, but no.
I was there. I can tell you. You didn't tell people you were watching that.
Yeah, and like
you tell a certain group of friends, and you're like, "Oh, I'm watching Dragon Ball Z. Oh, I'm watching Dragon Ball Z." So did you say something? No, we didn't say nothing.
Yeah, like in the 2010s, it was just like no one just knew. No one knew. It was a very small thing. I wish it was small again, but I don't. But I wish it was. It's difficult because it's helping my business, but man, the anime community is like so bad. It's like give or take.
You gotta love fandoms. Kalei,
oh gosh.
Yeah.
Tell the people all the good stuff about you. Oh, I can see that we should wrap up the show. So Kalei, go ahead. Tell all the good things. I'll start showing you off your stuff in the background. Go for it.
Oh, I thought we did this. Oh, okay, we went in the back.
Oh, we did, but you got to do it again.
All right. My name's Kalei. I'm 20 years old. I'm an artist. I do anything from comics, anime, realistic stuff, landscapes, paintings, you name it, I got it. You can follow me on Instagram. I just started TikTok. There's not that much on there, but same username. I'm taking commissions now, like by the pound. I'm trying to fund this trip to Japan in January. So any donations, any contributions to this would really make my day. But yeah. It was nice meeting you guys. Nice talking to you all.
Kalei, I have to ask you. You said you just started TikTok. How is that going for you? Because I know it's a whole different monster.
Oh my gosh, social media is a whole nother job, man. It's such another job. Jesus, I look like an idiot, like walking. I'm like, oh, this will be a really good B-roll shot. Let me just take this really quick to use it later. It's so ridiculous. It's a whole nother job.
Yeah, because you gotta constantly be thinking about that. Especially like I'm in charge of all the Bit and Apple media, so I constantly have to be thinking like that. That's why I know some of you guys have seen me at the convention. You'll see me all of a sudden start recording something. And you're like, why are you recording that?
Mm-hmm.
And it has nothing to do with the thing. It just has to do with I can add it to something else.
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I every time I try TikTok, I do most of my stuff on Instagram. Every time I try TikTok, TikTok's turned into the place where I do my promo videos.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, that's what we're gonna do. We're doing the promo videos. I'm gonna come on. I'm gonna do my voiceover stuff, and that's how it's gonna be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's so funny how much stuff you have to master, especially as a writer, as an artist, everything we do is helped by social media.
Yeah, that's something we're talking about shorts before. That's actually I wouldn't mind giving a computer to do. Say, hey, you do that posting, and then just.
I wish the AI could do all that stuff.
Yeah, for real.
That would help out so much. But no, they want to do the art. They want to do the voiceover. They want to do the writing.
Make the reels for me. Make the post.
Oh my God.
Or do laundry and mow lawns. That would be helpful too.
Exactly. Bruce, tell the people who you are, all the good stuff. I'll put your stuff in the background.
Easiest way to find me would be on Instagram, Sazama Creations, SAZAMA Creations. I would do commissions on anything that people want. I've been doing a bunch of different styles, comic books, rock and roll. I did Mad Magazine. I've done quite a few of The Princess Bride, Marx Brothers, Three Stooges. I like to copy other people sometimes. I've done some of the old-time illustrators, Will Eisner. I liked him. There's a lot you can do with wood burning. I did that for my children when my son got married. If you remember from The Princess Bride, marriage. And there he is. Hello, my name is Inigo. That was the collaboration with Kalei.
Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
That's it. That's it. I just put it on a piece of tree. And, I would love to help somebody out. I would, love to use my hands to make someone happy. And I truly enjoy the fact that, like someone else said earlier this evening, great.
I gotta say, your Instagram is a lot of fun. So
it sure.
And I didn't even show all this stuff.
That one, if you stop for 1 second, that one's incredibly cool because I got to meet both of those artists at the Garden State Comic Fest.
I had a feeling.
Yeah, and both those guys signed that for me. And 2 pieces that I was hoping to sell, they're not for sale anymore.
Yeah, because once they sign it, it turns into something else.
Yeah, and I would not be a jerk and try to sell it signed. Now it's mine.
And a lot of people do that. A lot of people, you see that all the time at the conventions. They'll come up to these classic guys and they go, sign this for me. And next thing you know, it's on eBay.
Yeah. No, it's not. That's not what I'm about. That's for sure. Now it means something. It means a lot. So I love what I'm doing. If anybody's interested, again, Sazama Creations. Sazama Creations would be on Instagram, and then you could always reach me by email once you get through Instagram. It's the same thing. It's at Gmail. So thanks to everybody for listening to me. I've had a wonderful time tonight, and I'd like to hear what everybody else has to say on the way out now.
Well, Bruce, I have to say, now that we have you on the spotlight for a second here, we have to say happy birthday, Bruce. I think this.
Thank you. Birthday,
we're happy that we were able to make your birthday at least a little bit pleasant.
Yeah.
Man, happy birthday, dude.
Thank you very much. It's an experience I'll never forget. If you had told me 15 years ago I'd be talking into my computer to a bunch of strangers trying to hawk something I made by hand, I would have told you you're nuts.
Dude, there are times where I'm sitting here and I realize exactly what I'm doing, and I'm like, what the freak am I doing?
Yeah.
It's very cool. And one last thing before I go, one of the things I love most about being part of this community is the fact that it defies age, it defies sex, it defies religion, it defies any pre-existing boundaries. The fact that I've met all these cool people and people that have purchased from me have been different ages. Some of the people like the old stuff. Some of the people like the new stuff, give me ideas of things to do. Art transcends all boundaries. And it's just a wonderful thing that the world as a whole needs more artists, whether it's musicians, writers, whatever you want to call it. The world is a better place with art.
Completely agree.
Yep. Amen to that.
Blake, it's telling you happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Ava, you're up. Tell the people all the beautiful stuff as I show off your stuff here on the side. Go for it.
Okay, cool. Hi, my name's Ava. I am a comic book artist, 2D animator, and illustrator. My style really has no limitations. I can do anything from anime to cartoons to realism, hyper-realism, really anything. So,
TikTok videos.
Hey, girl.
And of course, this is what you're working on, folks. And folks, you're going to want to pay attention to Ava as she moves towards her goal.
Yes, thank you. I do have a manga-inspired comic book coming out in 2 to 3 years called The Heroic Losers. It is a comedy fantasy romance, and it's awesome. It's got a 90-foot tall small dick douchebag dragon in it. So if you like stuff like that, if you like, comedy, funny stuff, adult cartoons, adult funny stuff, then The Heroic Losers, you're going to like it. I think it could be a really good escape from reality. If you're having a really bad day, pick up that book and laugh a little bit.
Now that we're here, I was realizing that, it's a big market right there. We were just talking about with Tauzin, where people want their characters created. They'll commission they'll commission artists to create their personal D&D or their personal role-playing characters. And Kalei and Ava, I think you guys can do that. You guys can.
I did it today.
See, look at that. Yeah.
I did it today. Yeah. So I just got commissioned to do something from D&D. It wasn't their specific character, but it was someone else's character. But regardless, I did get commissioned by that today. So yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, folks? I see the art and I see the beauty, and I go, wait a minute. They can create this certain character that I was playing 10,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And Kalei, I have to say, you did a fantastic job with that video. So, keep doing the good work. The video that you did for you and Bruce came out really well. And just do stuff like that on TikTok and you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I will. Spend all the time doing that.
I just wanted to let you know that I really enjoyed it. And if you do stuff like that, people will watch.
Thank you.
I certainly will, because I had no input. 100% Kalei. 100%.
I will just walk up to his booth. I need you to pretend you're talking to somebody, and I'll record you. Don't ask why.
I remember that.
That's a good way to explain it, and that's exactly what we do.
Yeah.
And congratulations on the Japan trip. Like,
definitely.
That is so cool. Like, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm going to do my written Ralph thing here and go, yes, you folks need to get Kalei Ann and commission her so that you can help her go to Japan. That's what she's trying to do. She's trying to continue her education in Japan. The link is in the comment section. I made it easy for you folks. Go over there, support her, commission her. Hey, reach out to all the people here on the show. Reach out to Tauzin, get a good D&D game going. Reach out to Kalei, get some art flowing. Reach out to Ava, get some more art flowing. Dude, Bruce can put it on wood and on fire. Folks, what do we got to do here? And Christian's over there creating all these beautiful worlds with his books, and you can go help him out by doing something for free, which is signing up to get notified.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty cheap. Just a click away. That's it.
Exactly.
Nothing else.
And all that stuff is in the comment section, so I don't want to hear, Ralph, I'm too lazy. I can't do that. Any last words, guys?
Have a great summer.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much, Ralph. Appreciate it, man.
You guys, it was a great geek out, and you can tell because it's 1:45. It's an hour 45 in, and we were supposed to be finished ages ago.
We should do this again. This was so fun. We should do this again.
You guys are all welcome to come back on the show. Have fun, geek out. I always tell people, you want to come back, just let me know.
Awesome. Thanks, Ralph.
Thanks for the opportunity, Rafa. Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure meeting you guys. Pretty cool.
And on this
Thank
show,
you.
where it ends, instead of doing the other thing we do on the written, which is on Wednesday, and you guys show up, we're going to have two great people on Wednesday. We're going to talk Beowulf, and we're going to talk the Museum of the Moving Image. Yeah. So be here. We're going to have some fun. I'm already working on the promo for that. So come back Wednesday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time for the written. With that, I'll press the button, and this happens. And for you 10 people that just